started another class for the first part of this lesson, so I'm going to just talk for a second. All right? So I had not shown them this. All right? This, I gave you 2 points. We have not done one like this. We've only done one where I gave you a point and a slope, and you use the point-slope formula. So what this is what's called the point-point formula. It is this big mess. Actually, all you have done is replace this M with the slope formula, okay? But I never use that, okay? I show you it in case you look at it sometime. You can go, oh yeah, we saw that. We didn't like it. So we just went over here, used our 2 points. We stacked them like I taught you. We circled the Y's so that they go first on the top, okay? And then we found the slope between those 2 points. Now I'm going to use the slope and which one of those points?
210.
Why are you choosing 210?
Because they're both positive.
Yes. You can choose either point, and I'll go back and I'll work it with that other point, and I will show you. I don't like doing stuff like that, and the reason is because then some kids will look at that and they will think that you have to do it with both points. And I'm like, no, you don't have to do it with both points. That's a waste of your time. Just choose a point. But I'm always going to choose a point that has no negatives, if I can, or at least the least amount of negatives, okay? And I'm also, if there's a point that has a 0 in it, I'm going to choose that point because he will be easier, okay? So I'm going to do it with this point first. I'm going to use the point-slope formula because now we're starting out. This is just what we did yesterday. Y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. Okay? So this is my x sub 1 and my y sub 1, and there is my m. I'm going to substitute them all in, just like what we did yesterday. Y minus, what is y sub 1? 10. Equals, what's m?
-4.
-4 times x minus, what's x sub 1? 2. Okay? Look, should you be scared? You better be on point, people, because you're distributing a negative. And we know that's where mistakes will come into play. So y minus 10 is equal to, what's -4 times x?
-4.
And I'll tell you this, if you know how to talk to yourself out loud in your head, do y'all know what I'm talking about? Can you talk to yourself out loud in your head? You're not really talking out loud, but you're saying stuff, right? Thank you. If you do that, then here's what's going to happen. When you go out loud in your head, -4 times -2 is -8. Your brain will go, wait, what? What'd you say? You see what I'm saying? So when you say it out loud like that, it makes you recognize mistakes better. Okay, so what is -4 times -2?
Positive 8.
Positive 8. Okay, now what do I need to do? I've got to collect like terms. Tell me how to do it. Add 10 to both sides. These cancel out, and y is equal to -4x plus 8 and 10 make. Now what am I going to do?
Plug it in.
Yeah, people, man, I showed you a way to check. I'm going to check that, dude. I'm going to go to y equals. There it is right there. I'm going to my table. Y'all, this is the only line in the whole wide world that will go through those 2 points. So if those 2 points are on this guy's table, he's right. 5, -2, and 2, 10. So this guy is the answer. Does anybody have a question? Okay, so now I'm going to show you what I told you I was going to show you. Do you have to do this right here? No, you do not. People, you have the answer right there. Okay? So, but I'm going to show you what if you chose the other point. Because some of the kids are like, well, I chose the other point. That's why I got a different answer. No, you got a different answer because you did something wrong. All right? So I'm going to choose this other point and show you get the same thing. All right? I'm still going to use the point-slope formula. This will be my x sub 1 and y sub 1. So I'm going to go y minus a -2 makes a what? Plus 2 is equal to m, -4 times x minus 5. When I distribute, I get y plus 2 is equal to negative 4x. What's negative 4 times negative 5? Now what am I going to do?
Subtract 2.
And y is equal to negative 4x plus 18. The same thing that we got right there. Okay? Anybody got a question?
No.
All right, so we got one more problem that we're going to do. Here is the problem right here. Example 6. It says, in the school year, ending in 1993, 2 million females participated in high school sports. Okay, so in 1993, 2 million girls were participating in high school sports. By 2003, how many years later? 10. The number increased to 2.86 million. In 10 years, I'm almost at 1.5 times the number of girls. So it increased a lot. Y'all, that's a lot. 2.86 million. Here's what they want me to do. Write a linear equation. That's what we've been doing, okay? That models female sports participation. Okay, write an equation, a linear equation that models female sports participation. First of all, what do I see about the female sport participation? What's it doing? It's increasing. And I mean, it's going up pretty rapidly, right? I'm going to tell you why it's going up rapidly. This is just about the time that they did a big study of girls that participated in high school sports. And here's what the study said. That girls that participate in high school sports are about 80% less likely to drink, smoke, do drugs, or get pregnant. So what did their parents do?
Put them in sports.
Yeah, the parents all say, you're playing, I don't care if you want to or not.
What about
Okay?
the guys though?
Boys can't get pregnant.
Yeah, well, we're not talking about the guys though, are we? We're talking about the girls. Okay? So, all right. So here we go. In order to write an equation, what do we need? Well, a slope and a point, right? A point slope formula. Do I have a slope?
No, so we have to.
That's exactly right. Evie says we don't have a slope, so I need 2 points. Tell me, do you have 2 points?
Yes.
Tell me what the first point is.
993 million.
And then what's the 2? Is it okay to write 2?
No.
No.
It is okay to write 2, but you do need to know that that 2 really stands for what? 2 million. Okay, because is there a difference between 2 and 2 million?
Yes.
Yeah, $2 and you go get you a Sonic drink, right? $2 million, you go buy a Sonic, right? So, what's my next point? 2003 and 2.86 millions. And y'all, if this was is in millions, you have to put this one. Do you understand? You can't like write this one as 2 and then move this one's decimal point. They have to be represented the same way. Okay? So the first thing we need to do is find the slope. So I stacked my points very nicely. I'm circling my y's. And my slope is delta y over delta x. Did I just do 2 things to help me not make the most careless mistake?
Yeah.
I wrote my formula down, which says my y's go on the top, and I circled my y's because I know they go on the top. They go first. Okay? So what order do you pick?
Whatever you want.
2.86 minus 2. If you pick this order for the top, what order do you have to pick for the bottom?
The same.
Yes, the same. 2003 minus 1993. Okay, 2.86 minus 2 is 0.86, and 2003 minus 1993 is 10. Is this a legal answer?
No.
Y'all, this is not legal. If you put a decimal in a fraction, I'll mark it wrong. If you put a fraction within a fraction, I'll mark it wrong. Okay? Can I write this as a decimal?
Yes.
Yes, 2 reasons, right? First of all, well, I gave you a decimal. You can give me a decimal. Second, it's a real life problem, and real life problems are messy. So yes, I'll let you use decimals. So this is 0.086. That's my slope. So what point do you want to use?
1932.
Yeah, I'm using this one just because he's a cleaner point. This one has a decimal in it. I'm just going to use this nice little point right here. It doesn't matter. I just showed you that. So you could use the other one if you wanted to. Okay? So I am going to use the point slope formula. Y minus y sub 1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. So this is my x sub 1 and y sub 1. I'm going to sub them in. Y minus, what is y sub 1? 2. You should be working ahead. Is equal to m 0.086 times x minus x sub 1, 1993. Okay? I'm going to distribute, and then I'll collect my like terms, and I'll have my answer. Y minus 2 is equal to 0.086 times x is 0.086x. 0.086 times negative 1993 is negative 171.398. Now what do I have to do? Add 2. Now watch this. Y is equal to 0.086x. What's going to be the common mistake right here? What are they going to write down?
173.
173.398. People, I know what you're going to do before you do it. Okay? So these are unlike signs. You have to subtract things. This is a negative, this is a positive. So it should have been negative 169.398. Okay? So everybody okay?
Yes.
I saw you all erasing those things. All right, so this is my equation. This is what they asked me to do. Okay? Now, let's see if you can use that information. How many participated in 2017? How many participated in 2017? What you gonna do? Plug it into y equals. So y is equal to 0.086 times. The x is almost always your time, guys. That's what we used it for up here. Okay? So he goes in for my x, 2017. Minus 169.398. So somebody do that on your calculator and tell me what you get. What?
Oh, wait. 4.064.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I did do it right.
Yeah, 4.064. Good answer?
Million.
Yeah. Y'all, it's not 4.064 girls participated. No. First of all, 0.064, what does that mean? They're not a very good athlete, or that's just part of them showed up? No, yuck. It's a million.
That's confusing because I forgot that.
Yes.
We didn't write the million.
Yes, we didn't write the million, so you have to write it. If you don't write that, you'll get it taken off, okay? Does everybody understand? Okay, so now I'm gonna tell you something. The other classes, one class had they did really well with it. One class struggled greatly with it, okay? So I want you to pay attention. So sometimes they'll give you an easy little problem like this, but they'll put something in there, and this is what it'll be. Let 3 represent 1993. Let 3 represent 1993. Okay, so what they did was they took an easy little problem and they just bumped it up a little bit. So this point, instead of being 1993, 2, now becomes what? 3, 2. Because 3 is representing 1993. That doesn't seem like such a big deal, okay? Except that now, what number is going to represent 2003? 13. Yeah. How many years after this is? 10 years after it? So 10 years after this 3, it's now at 13 and 2.86. Okay? Now here's my question. Will this equation be exactly the same as this?
No.
Will my slope be the same?
Yes.
Yes. Your slope is the same. It's representative of that increase. Okay? What's going to be different? Is y-intercept. Okay? So if I use these 2 points, what would you plug in for 2017?
27.
No, it would be.
What do you need to find out?
14.
What do you need to know? What did you find out here?
They're 10 years apart.
They're 10 years apart. And what did you do with that 10?
14.
You added it to that 3. Do you agree with me?
27.
So you got to find out how many years there is between 1993 and 2017.
Oh,
You're just going to go 2017 and 1993. How many years went by? 24. So this is where the kids got messed up. They wanted to call this point 24, 4.064. It's not 24. It's what?
27.
It's 27. You have to add it to that 3. Just like you did the 10. You did this. You said the difference in these is 10. Is that a 10? No. What'd you do with that? You started at 3 and said 10 years later, I'm at 13. You started at 3. 24 years later, where are you? 27. And that's what the 4.064 goes to.
So it is 27.
Yes.
Okay.
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 Yes. Okay? So just another way to look at the same problem. Okay? Why am I telling you this? You think it's important that I'm telling you this?
Yeah.
You might see this somewhere, people. Okay? You might see this somewhere. We talked about it. All right? We talked about it. It's taking an easy problem and just putting a little bit of a twist on it. But it does step it up, make it a little more difficult. Okay, two other things I want to talk about, but one of them is not going to be on video. So standard form. I'll tell you what, I will talk about the other one on video and then we'll turn it off. So tell me what standard form is. AX plus BY equals C. If you've done any part of your worksheet, you know why I'm telling you this. Okay? Because it's going to tell you to put your answer in standard form on part of the worksheet. Okay? Are there any stipulations on A, B, and C?
A and B can't, no, none of them can be fractions.
Okay. So no fractions.
And then the A and B can't be negative.
Oh, they can be. Now, I remember I told you that some teachers say that this first guy cannot be a negative. Okay? So, if you don't like it being a negative, you can change all the signs. Just make sure you change all the signs. Okay? I don't care. If your first guy's a negative, I'm okay with that. No fractions, what else? No what? Decimals. Because what are you trying to make A, B, and C? What must they be? Integers. Whole numbers and their opposites. Okay? So in order for it to be in standard form, so what's going to happen is that you're going to get an answer, it's going to be in slope-intercept form. All of our answers have been in slope-intercept form, and then you're going to have to put them in standard form. So you would have to pull this guy over here, and he would be negative 0.086x plus y equals negative 169.398. Is this a legal answer? Not for standard form, people. You got decimals all over the place. What do you have to multiply every term by? All 3 things.
1,000.
1,000, because you got 3 digits behind the decimal point. Okay? So when you multiply it by 1,000, you're going to end up with negative 86x plus 1,000y equals negative 169.398. Okay? And that would be in standard form. You don't have to put them in standard form unless they tell you to. Some kids won't like this right here, and some teachers will not like it. I told you I didn't care, okay? But if they wanted to rewrite it, I would say probably on an SAT test, they would not write it this way, okay? They would probably write a positive 86 and a negative 1,000 and a positive 169 for them. Yes,
Wait, so what did you do to get from the first one to the
I
second?
multiplied everything here by 1,000.
And why?
Because there were 3 digits behind the decimal place, so in order to move it to the very end, I needed 3 zeros on my multiple of 10. Okay? All right, here's the last thing I want to talk about before we do your test, okay? I want to talk about this word right here. Let me find a pen. Variance. Okay, has anybody seen this word before? Okay, this is on your worksheet, all right? And it talks about a variance. Let me explain to you what a variance is, okay? I'm not gonna explain it in the context of the problem. I'll kind of talk about it, but not a lot. I'm gonna explain it like, let's say that we own a company and we make baseballs. Our baseballs, do they have to be a certain size? Yes. Do they have to be a certain weight?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna make baseballs and they have to be a certain size and a certain weight or they're not regulation, which means I can't sell them, okay? So, do you think they're all gonna be perfectly that size and exactly that weight?
They better be. They better be.
They will not be. People, you have a piece of machinery and you have people making these baseballs. They are going to vary some, okay? Now, what they are allowed to vary is called your variance. For instance, the baseball, I don't know what it's called, like the baseball people, whatever. The baseball people might say that your baseball can vary as much as a 1/16 of an inch. That means it could be a 1/16 of an inch bigger or smaller. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the variance of the baseball would be a 1/16 of an inch. You see what I'm saying? That's its variance. In the problem on your worksheet, it's talking about a variance in your population. So what they're asking you to do is write an equation. They're giving you 2 points. Write an equation for what happens to the population. And then they want you to use your equation to predict the population. They give you the actual population and they say your equation is only good if you have no more than a 5% variance. So in other words, your equation that you get cannot vary off of the actual amount more than 5%. So you're going to have to figure out if it does. If it does, it's not good. If it varies less than 5%, it's a good equation and you can use it for predicting populations. Okay? Anybody got a question? Nope? Everybody good? Michael, stop the video for us, please.